Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, a game that is currently in early access and available on Steam, which puts you in the shoes of a naval secretary in the early 1900s or late 1800s, where you're in charge of designing ships and then fighting ships in 3D battles. And the game currently has sort of a naval academy side to it where you have different challenges and design obstacles to overcome and then fight battles with. And then also a nascent campaign, which has only just been introduced, which allows you to fight a hypothetical war against either Great Britain or Germany as the other. Eventually, this intends to be something like Rule the Waves, where you have peacetime and you build ships in peacetime, and diplomacy kind of comes and goes, and your role as the secretary is going to chart the course of a navy's history. But in the case of the current early access version, it's basically just a single war between Germany and Great Britain. It is 1891, April of 1891, so we're about 16 months into this war, which starts in 1890. And we've done pretty well for ourselves, sinking a considerable amount of British shipping. A month or two ago, the British actually asked for peace terms, although we denied them. We wanted something more decisive, and so we're currently fighting. In the last turn, we also finished research on triple expansion engines, so we have more effective steam engines on our ships now. And if you go into the R&D section, you can see we're working on cruiser design, but we also have recently researched 4,000-ton heavy cruisers, so we can make cruisers that are slightly heavier than before. Previously, our max was 3,500 tons. We have 2 additional free priorities that we can go ahead and research to try and speed things up. We can go with gun layout, which allows us to have 3 centerline turrets for large guns. We could go with some submarine stuff. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go toward explosives because we're only 6 months away from that, so we can cut it down to 3 months by making it a research priority. And then I'm not sure if we do armor forging, armor quality. One is 34, the other's 38. They're both pretty far away. We can go with the rangefinders for more accurate weapons, so I think we'll do that, and that'll bump explosives up to 4 months now. Now, I do want to go ahead and also design a new ship because we have the capability to design new heavy cruisers. We're going to go ahead and design a new heavy cruiser design that is 3,400 tons. Our current maximum is a Kaiser Augusta class, which currently only is 3,500 tons with a speed of 18.5 knots here. The class of ships does compose 4 7-inch guns, 2 5-inch guns, 8 4s and 4 3s, as well as 4 underwater torpedo tubes with a max speed of 18.5 knots and a displacement of 3,500 tons. We're going to go ahead and see how we can do better with a new design of heavy cruisers based on our new tonnage limits. So we're going to go ahead and I need to do a new design here. We're going to go ahead and do Armor Cruiser Design 1, displacement 4,000 tons, and see how we can lay this ship out here. We're going to go ahead and put the forward tower. I think we'll go with forward tower 2 actually in the front. Slightly better in terms of it has a bigger target signature, but it's better for torpedoes or tower spotting, better for torpedo spotting. There's less smoke interference because it's a taller tower than Tower 1. Damage control, communication range. Damage control is the same, but communication range is better. Long range accuracy is better. Base accuracy is the same, and aiming speed is the same for Tower 2 versus Tower 1. Secondary tower in the rear will also go with the Type 2. So we're going to go with a slightly more expensive design here, presumably because of that. We're going to go with standard funnels. We're going to go ahead and go with 2 of these things. So it's going to be a two stack armored cruiser. We're going to go with our main guns here and go with centerline guns. Our previous class had 7-inchers. I'm not sure if 500 tons gives me enough to really bump that up to 8 or not. Armor penetration isn't different between 7. Well, it is slightly different, but I'm not sure it matters. Like, honestly, I think the 7-inchers at 5,000 meters or less with current accuracy ratios, we're not going to be hitting anything at 5,000 meters anyway. And inside 2,500 meters, we're going to get 10 inches of armor penetration almost with either of these guns. And so I'm going to defer to the 7-inch guns to save some weights. We'll go with a double barrel 7 in the front. and a double barrel 7 in the aft of the ship here, which is going to match our previous class of ships. Now that we're going to go on to the secondary guns, I don't think that the, I don't think, it doesn't look like this is going to be any different from a turret perspective. So these guys might be heavier and more expensive, but I'm not sure they're actually going to be any better, and if anything, they might be slightly less armed. The 4-inch turrets have such wide mounts, they can't fit on these amidships. We could go with 3-inch secondary guns here for those amidships. Ship is also already overweight. If we go with the casemates, we can have up to 4 inchers in this thing. So we can go with more of the 4 inchers here, 12 4 inchers, with a broadside of 6 on each side. We're gonna have to slow this thing down. What if we do it down to 19 knots? So a slight speed advantage. Cut the range also. Let's do it at 20 actually. All right. Casemate guns of 4 inches. 3 inches don't have anywhere to go. I think there's some 2-inch slots on this superstructure. No? I thought there were some 2-inch mounts on the superstructure. Guess not. Oh, if we go with the secondaries, we could do that. Let's do the 3-inch guns amidship. And we do have a slight aft weight offset, so we're going to go ahead and put some 3 inchers up front. So I could put more in the rear of the ship here, but I think we'll hold off on that. No. I think a 3-inch or 3% aft offset is okay. So 10 2-inch guns, 4 3-inch guns, 12 4-inch guns. So our secondary battery is more numerous in terms of weapons, although we do lack those 5 inchers in the turrets. Underwater torpedo mounts. Why are those things so heavy? Okay, so right now we've got a 4 offset weight of 5. Do I have a torpedo? Where's that torpedo tube? There it is. Okay, so if I put in aft offset goes to 14, put it in the front. So it gives me 4 underwater tubes. If you just drop the rear, then it makes things more balanced. It gives us 3 underwater tubes, 1 amidship on each side, 1 forward. We don't have the aft tube, so it's slightly worse than the previous ship, but I think that's actually okay. Coal, fuel, natural boilers. We're going to go with triple expansion steam engines, which if we take a look at the difference between basic steam and triple expansion saves us a little bit of weight. It also increases smoke interference, but it reduces engine weight. It reduces fuel stowage. It is not as the engine cost per weight doesn't drop like the steam compound engine, but engine damage chance from penetrating hits is less, and more horsepower per engine ton. So that's good. We'll switch to compound armor. That'll save us a little bit more weight. We'll keep the single hull bottom standard bulkheads. Move up to Citadel 1 for some extra armor. We'll go with the heavy shells here. It'll be a little bit more weight, but they'll pack more punch. Standard ammo allotment I think will be fine because we never really run out of ammo. We can go with extra ammo for the torpedoes, brown powder for the propellant, fast torpedoes. I'm assuming that'll make it harder for the enemy to dodge them. Enhanced reloading adds some weight. Hydraulic turrets, black powder shell charge, 15-inch torpedo tubes. Our armor situation here, we've got about 140 tons to spare. So we can see here the fore belt is very minimal. The main belt will increase to 5 inches, I think. The aft belt and the fore belt was just kind of an all or nothing armor displacement with only a tenth of an inch of main deck, aft, or fore belt. We'll increase main deck to 3/10 of an inch just to prevent some splinter damage. Conning tower, I think I want to get up to 7 inches if I can. That's equal to our main caliber guns. Superstructure is, we have like towers and funnels, so I want to give them 2. Oh, that's overweight. I could do a 1/2 inch, but I'm actually just going to not even do that. Superstructure armor would protect these guns up here in the superstructure as well as our funnels, which protects our like speed and things like that. But let's hold off on that. Turret armor. 7-inch guns need better armor. They're heavy when we add them though, but I don't want those guns getting easily knocked out. So we can go with 6 inches there of side armor. The 3-inch guns, it's basically an armor plate. It's not even a turret, so the 3 and 2-inch guns I'll leave as is. Casemate armor is built into the deck armor, so I'm not sure that the side armor matters all that much. Since they get benefits from the casemate. Also, we can't increase it at all. So this puts us basically at 4,000 tons. A decent armor, I think, on the 7-inch guns. 7-inch guns penetrate 6 inches of armor anywhere inside 5,000 meters, or actually 7,500 meters. So that side armor on the turret's not going to protect very well against a direct hit from an equal caliber gun. But it'll be effective against like light cruisers and things like that. What if we actually drop the main deck down to 1/10? So I can actually increase it to 6.5 inches on the 7-inch gun side armor, which gets us over an equal size shell penetrating anywhere outside of 7,500 meters. I'd have to get it up over 8 inches to stop against anything inside 5,000. But the one advantage this ship's really going to have over our previous class of cruisers is going to be the speed. So we've got the triple expansion engines. Crew quarters are cramped. We've got many bulkheads, which I believe our previous one were not many. We've got 20 knots of speed. Range we could drop slightly if we really wanted to up armor this thing down to 5,800 kilometers. In theory, I could do that and really make these guys, you know, heavy. So we could increase the main belt to 6. Increase the turret armor to 8 maybe. Increase the 4 aft belt and 4 against very low levels of penetration here. Increase the conning tower to 7.5. And just be generally more armored with shorter range. But many bulkheads still 5,800 kilometer range, 20 knots, so considerably improved speed. And we can call these guys, I think we don't have one named the THG class, so we'll name it the THG class. So that'll be an interesting design, I think. Go ahead and exit out of there. We have quite a bit of money sitting around at the moment. We've got $36 million in the bank, $2.3 million surplus per turn. So we're going to go ahead and build 6 THG class heavy cruisers, which will basically double the size of our heavy cruiser force from 6 to 12, barring losses. And so those ships are going to take a little while to come online. We can see they're being built. They're going to take 10 months. The war might be over by then, but it's fun to set these guys up. We're going to set them all to Wilhelmshaven because I want them to be as close to Britain as possible at that short range. I don't want them in the Baltic Sea and being kind of like exerting themselves. So we'll set them all to Wilhelmshaven. We've got the THG, the Limburg, the Rune, the Victoria Louise, the Lutzow, and the Atlantis. Can you accelerate? No. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we're going to lay those 6 armored cruisers down. Did we? I thought we researched a new battleship hull, but I don't see that on here, so maybe we didn't. Also, let's go ahead and build larger dockyards. So we probably aren't going to get 2 years into this war, but if we can increase our dockyards by maybe 1,000 tons over the next year, maybe we can build a slightly bigger battleship. Currently our limit is 10,000 tons. Our current battleships are 9,500. An 11,000 ton battleship would go a lot further, so we'll go ahead and do that. That'll spend a little bit more of our monthly balance, and then we'll go ahead and move forward to May of 1891. We're winning. The British government's desperately asking us to sign a peace treaty, but we're going to fight to the end. Screw them. Let's see if we can crush them. Meanwhile, the British are building new ships. They laid down a Hood, the battleship Hood of the Lord Nelson class. They're building some heavy cruisers and light cruisers as well. And they laid some ships down last turn also. So far, no indication of any battles this turn, it doesn't look like. If we take a look at the fleet, sea control, everybody's at sea. So we don't have enough strength to blockade the British yet, but we probably aren't that far away. So we're just kind of moving through time here, and we've got a convoy battle here in the channel. Looks like 2 German armored cruisers versus British armored and 2 CLs. The British have completed 2 new armored cruisers. We've moved to July of 91. That means our new heavy cruisers are 7 months away. We're going to go ahead and fight this battle here. It looks like we've got a British armored cruiser and 2 light cruisers are coming to the rescue of 9 transports, which the Blücher and Stier are both going to be engaging. So we should have I would assume an easy time of it initially against the enemy transports, assuming we spot them, and then we'll end up running into the enemy warships after that. They're probably coming from a distance. But you can see we're immediately in a visual sight of the enemy transport or the enemy merchants. They're going to turn away from us here. I think it said there were 9, was it? You can see here we're damaging this lead. We'll send our CAs in. These are not the new heavy cruisers. As a reminder, these are the previous class of heavy cruisers. So we'll have to see if we can, how much of the enemy we can destroy before we have to deal with their warships, which we outgun from an armored cruiser perspective, but from a sheer volume perspective, they outnumber us. So we sank the first, we sank the Rigorous, we're now attacking the Lyra, and we've got the front of this enemy formation. They are shooting at us. Looks like they've got some small caliber guns. So I'm going to cross the T of this enemy formation. We actually should be close to torpedo range. We don't really want to waste a torpedo on this ship. So I should probably change this to off. Lyra's going to sink. So immediately we've got a torpedo in the water against one of the enemy merchants. Still no sign of the warships. Torpedo hit the enemy transport there. We switch to Pathfinder, which is the next ship in line. Oh, torpedo hit there on the Pathfinder. So 2 enemy merchants, 3 enemy merchants, really. In really rough shape. We're staying in divisional formations here. TRA looks like it's about to go down. And these transports do affect both the victory score now with some updates and some recent patches, but they also affect the morale of the enemy at home. All right. TRA is sinking. 3 more enemy merchants here. We are getting some partial pens here. Looks like 2-inch guns. Renown is sinking. TRA is sinking. Switching to Pathfinder, which actually has a torpedo out against it. So to that extent, I'll switch back to Friedrich. We fired half our torpedoes out of the CA complement. I would assume this torpedo will finish off the Pathfinder. It does. So just 4 more merchants here. There's 1 to the rear. What is this? Fried rake or fire rake? Fire drake. Here, still no sign of the enemy warships. 3 penetrations on this tier, huh? Getting some light superstructure damage from these light 2-inch enemy guns. Maybe ×3 speed. It would be nice to move a little bit quicker, but it's what it is. Main tower destroyed. Looks like that's going to impact their command. They also have fires on board. So we've cut the head of the enemy column a second time here. We're targeting the lead and the rear ship. Also looks like the patrician is turned away. Is going the opposite direction of her 3 compadres. She's down below 20% flood, and now she's sinking. We'll switch to the Jed. No relation to Jed Bush, I'm sure. He's clad. And should be able to hit this guy from pretty damn close range. No sign of the enemy warships yet. If we sink all these enemy merchants, might get a free victory here if the enemy warships can't come to their aid in time. Jed's gonna take a torpedo as well. Merchants are just not fast enough to avoid it. The torpedoes are really overkill. There's no reason to... 2 torpedoes it looks like she took. There's no real reason to do it though. It kind of wastes our torpedo ammo. But it certainly does speed up sinking these guys. Jed's already going to go down. Dragonfly's aflame. I might imagine this would be a bad day to be a merchant mariner for the Royal Navy. Oh, you can see heavy caliber guns coming in, or at least we saw a pair of shells come in from a distance. But they're going to be too late to save the British convoy. The Dragonfly is going down, and now it's just the patrician. We did get hit by something. So patrician's going down. We got hit by an 8-inch shell. Wow, the Blucher got hit by an 8-inch enemy shell. So we can end the battle now. They're not shooting at us and they're out of range because we sank all the enemy merchants. We accomplished our goal. Or we can see if the enemy warships still want to fight. It looks like they're turning and running. They're not shooting at us anymore. We still have the end turn option, so I guess we'll take that. So we killed 1,100 British sailors. We lost 18. We sank 9 enemy warships. 1,200 victory points versus 4. It sounds like someone's shooting at someone now, but the battle's already over, so it doesn't matter. British government desperately is asking us to sign a peace treaty. I wonder if, like, Is there a reason, you know, if you decline it, does it increase the likelihood that your own government collapses? Right? Because I don't know, right? Why would you ever surrender early unless unless you don't feel confident you can keep it up? Okay, so we've got a coastal alarm. Enemy ships sighted near our coast. They seem to be a small force. It's going to be the enemy battleship Aaron versus our Frederick de Grosser. We've got one torpedo boat and they've got two. Okay. Let's go ahead and battle. Maybe they're sending a battleship in to bombard our coast. One battleship, one torpedo boat versus one battleship and two torpedo boats. Spotted to the west. We'll go ahead and turn that way. The Frederick de Grosser 9-inch guns. Remember, our battleships do have lighter guns. We went with the more rapid firing design to save weight. Got 4 turrets here, 2 in the front, 2 in the rear of 5-inch guns. And then we've got some casemate stuff. Go ahead and add the torpedo boat to our battle line. Oh God. I really want the torpedo boat to be the lead, but hey. Where does it say the smoke is? To the west? So we shall turn there. We're going to leave that battleship way far behind. Northwest. What's the weather right now? Daytime weather. It's day, cloudy, light breeze, slight waves. So should be good weather. Wow, the Frederick de Grosser is just getting buried. We must be closing the range though, because the speed has dropped to ×5. They're not shooting us yet though. Heading to where the smoke says to head. And finding the enemies is kind of annoying in this game sometimes. Like if you really see smoke, you should see it on the map. But I digress. Are we going to find anything, or are we going to end up exiting out of this battle? There we go. Warship spotted. And the battleship instantly fires. What is this lead? This is the enemy battleship, I think. So maybe we'll get some plunging fire on them. Meanwhile, the enemy torpedo boat's right here. One of the two, anyway. Alright, let's see if we can close the enemy torpedo boat first. It's a Zebra. It has a 4- and 2-inch gun. Our own torpedo boats only have 3-inch guns. So not a great situation to be in for us. But hey, you spotted the enemy. That was your objective. Not sure what the battleship's max speed is for the enemy yet. 2 torpedo boats trailing the battleship. They're all kind of in independent fire. The secondaries seem to be firing at the TBs. The main battery seems to be firing at the battleship. We're closing the range. Here we go. Don't hit us too hard. Shit. Oh no, did I turn the wrong way? Oh, we're fine. That was close. They fired a rear torpedo at me and missed. Whoa, 5-inch gun from the battleship just hit the Zebra. Good job, secondary battery from extreme range. fire off all of our torpedoes? No. Maybe you shouldn't fire a stern torpedo shot. It's just a thought. One torpedo missed. The other torpedo missed. Right, we're taking damage here. Ram them. Well, S5 is on fire here. Battleship's still coming up to try and close the range. We have 2 torpedoes left. They're currently reloading. So we have 2 tubes on this thing. We zoom in here, we can see they're both to starboard. These 2 tubes here. Or not, one's here. One's here. So both are amidship. $71 versus 84. Enemy fired its only torpedoes, I think. So even they have a reason to run. Let's see if we can ram this bastard. He's in worse flooding shape, but better structural shape. Never done a rear ram before. Not sure what to expect. Oh, nice. And also at this range, apparently we can't miss. They're ramming the enemy. And we got him. Our own ship is in trouble. The TBS-5 rammed the enemy Zebra and helped to sink it. TBS-5 also suffered considerable flooding damage of its own, but the enemy transport, or the enemy torpedo boat, is sunk. Can the battleship go? I mean, in theory, we're a knot faster, but that's a lot of range to cover, so. You know, S5 is largely dead in the water. We're pumping the water out, so our float damage isn't too bad, but our structure damage is disastrously bad. We also have some engine damage. We can probably claim victory at this point, right? No ships lost, 1 enemy torpedo boat lost. I think we'll do that rather than try and catch them. So the end battle ends up with a victory, 113 victory points for us. The S5 badly damaged but crippled. Friedrich der Grosser couldn't get into enemy range, or into range of the enemy ships, at least effective range, but we did sink 1 of the enemy ships. So that's that. We also are into August of 1891. Our ships that are being built are almost half done. We have an ambush of 6 of our torpedo boats versus 2 of their battleships. And then we have a convoy battle of 2 of our light cruisers versus some of their other cruisers. I'm thinking with the ambush, we should just fight and see if we can sink these 2 enemy battleships by ourselves. And then we'll probably wrap it up before we get to the next battle. I'm assuming torpedo boat battles can be fast. Okay, let's go ahead and detach here. Join 2. We'll have 2 battle lines of 3 ships each. So we're going to have 2 sections of 3 torpedo boats each. These are all the same designs with 2 torpedo boats amidships, the funnels in the rear, command center in the rear, and a 3-inch gun on the front of the ship. We're going to be going against 2 enemy battleships here. Hopefully that are unable to get away and that we're able to pummel with our torpedoes. We do have reloads for our torpedoes, so in theory, if our ships don't take too much damage, we could make 2 torpedo attacks. But that seems like a little bit of a pipe dream. Let's go ahead and send these guys. So our lead column moving in. Whoa. Crazy crossfire there. I think we're actually going to make a move on the rear enemy battleship here. It's the Neptune and the Zealandia. Try and get inside the range of these enemy ships here before they do too much damage to us. Oof, we just got hit by a 10-inch gun. Major flooding. Did you turn back in? Like, I know you're turning away to avoid the damage, but you were pretty much in torpedo range, and because the AI decided you were too damaged to continue the fight, you turned away rather than pressing home for a torpedo attack. In any event, that lead ship is now out of the formation. I detached her. We've got TBS-6, which is the second ship in the formation, on the way in. While S8 continues to eat the enemy fire. So the enemy focus seems to be on the S8, which was leading the entire formation. I've switched to the S6. Fishes away. We are taking damage now. We got a stern hit. Gonna fire the other fish. There we go. Other fish is away. And a nice hit here on the Neptune amidships with that second torpedo. Go ahead and pull out S6. S1 fired both her fish. Wish she had not done that. Neptune's for sure going down. So, second group of 3 torpedo boats is now coming up. She's got to be almost sunk, right? Alright, let's slow down. So, what's the situation here? This torpedo boat S6 has torpedoes reloading. S8 has full complement of torpedoes, but engine damage. So we're going to have her focus on the Neptune, which is in torpedo range, has 3 engines damaged and rudder damage. I'm assuming she can't escape. Flotation doesn't seem to be going down on the Neptune, though, so some more firepower from S8 would be, I think, warranted. S2 is going to turn north here to try and go after the Zealandia, which has not been hit yet. There's the torpedo heading out from S8. That one almost a midship as well. And there goes the Neptune. So the S8 got its fish away, sank the enemy. And the death is coming on up. It's 10. God damn it, death. Death fired its fish. I didn't want. Okay, S2's leading this other task force here. A stern chase as it is. Try and close the range. Swing back. Also S6, which is now reloaded its fish. So now I got 6 torpedo boats versus 1 enemy battleship as the Neptune sinks. And the Zealandia is all alone. S2's going to turn in. We're going to try and get a decent broadside shot. But we'll see how the damage gods favor us or not. S1's going to try and cut across the enemy bow, which took a hit. some fire damage. But the S1 has decent speed still. No damage, actually, with both its torpedo tubes loaded. So even if the S2 takes heavy damage, S1 should be in good shape. Things down to real time, switch these over to normal. Fish are away. Both fish on the S2 are away. This one's going to turn here. I don't know if those are going to hit. This one has fired one of its fish as well. For the enemy from the other side, these are both going to miss. They're going to run parallel, but the one fish from S1 is good. So hit up front near the bow. These two ships look like they're going to miss. Second torpedo from S1 looks good on the bow. So two fish in. And detach the Death and then have her cruise in here. This one is now out of fish. And there's no reason we shouldn't finish the enemy off here. With two torpedoes hit, the enemy's having major flooding damage, going to be down around 20%. Oh shit. Back emergency! Well, that's fun. But as long as the enemy keeps shooting at the wrong ships, not at the ones coming up on it, I'm okay with that. Death fired one. Let's go ahead and hold off on the second fish here. That's kind of a long-range shot. The enemy does have 2/3 of its engines damaged and its rudder, so it probably won't escape. That fish won't. Almost a midship. New compartments. I think that's it. I think she's gone. Yep, end battle. Zealandia sinks, and we sank both enemy battleships with 6 torpedo boats. We suffered some heavy damage on a couple of our torpedo boats, but nothing sunk. I think torpedo boats are a little bit too resilient. We sank 2 battleships, gained 7,200 victory points, 1,400 enemy crew lost. So 26 of our own. 1 badly damaged S-boat, 1 moderately damaged. Yeah. And that cuts the British battle fleet by 1/3, I believe, from 6 to 4 battleships. They are increasing their armored cruiser complement from 6 to 11. So they're cranking those out, but the battleships, that's going to be tough to overcome. I mean, if you look at the victory points here, it's 23,000 to 2,800. Torpedo boats need to be more vulnerable. Like a single 8-inch shell, like we saw one of them take, or a 10-inch shell, should probably obliterate the things in this era. Unless it's an armored shell and maybe it overpens, but if it's a high explosive, I can't imagine torpedo boats of this era would survive even one of those. Rangefinders, did we complete that, or did we just find out that we're 36 months away? Dear God. Explosives we did finish. So we finished the brown powder explosives. So we'll take the research off of that. And gun layout is 8 months. Hull protection is 6 months. Internal protection is 7 months. So I'll have to see. I'm not sure what I want to do there yet. You can see here we are honorable. Our naval prestige is honorable because we have 52. That seems like a very good ranking. We're respected from an unrest perspective because we're winning so decisively. We have 4 provinces. We're building 6 ships with 27 active. Overall, we're in good shape with a convoy battle to come, and who knows what comes after that. You know what? Can I auto-resolve? It's defeat. Heavy damage to the Augsburg. The Straussland is sunk. Heavy damage to the British armored cruiser Minotaur and light cruiser Cairo. So I decided to auto-resolve it, and it looks like we lost that battle. But it hardly changes the overall strategic situation as we move into September. The British continue to ask for peace. We continue to tell them we'll fight to the end. And there's a coastal alarm. We're going to get another battle here. 2 of our battleships and 3 torpedo boats versus 1 enemy battleship, 2 light cruisers, and 2 torpedo boats. But that'll be for another time. We're going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A return to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts by Game Labs. Game in early access on Steam right now. We're winning this war decisively. We'll see what this next battle brings up here in the North Sea. But until then, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching. And until next time, I'm out.